If you're entering your 80s with a touch of uncertainty about your health, your place in the world, or the meaning of these coming years, then this video is for you. I know some mornings you wake up, look in the mirror, and wonder, have the best days of my life already passed me by? But what if I told you that your 80s and beyond could be the most radiant, most fulfilling, most liberating years you've ever lived? This isn't wishful thinking. I've met people in their 80s, even 90s, who still laugh with a full heart, fall in love again, learn how to dance the tango, or write the very first book of their life. And they're not just living long, they're living fully. I've sat down with them. I've listened to their stories, the turning points, the regrets, the small joys that made their hearts leap. And today, I want to bring those moments to you. Because turning 80 isn't the end of your story. It might just be a comma leading into a brand new chapter. A chapter where you're more yourself than ever before. Stay with me until the very end, because sometimes one small sentence can bring tears to your eyes and light back to your heart. So how do they do it? How do some people, even at 83, 87, 92, still wake up with that spark in their soul? How do they face wrinkles, aching joints, and empty houses, yet still greet the morning with a quiet smile and a sense of purpose? It's not luck. It's not money. It's not perfect health. What they found are a few powerful truths. Truths that gently shift the way they see life, the way they treat their bodies, the way they forgive, and the way they love. Some of these lessons are simple. Others took a lifetime to learn. But once you hear them, you won't be able to unhear them. And they might just change the way you live tomorrow morning. In this video, I'll share with you 5 life-changing lessons. Not from textbooks, but from real lives. From quiet warriors. From grandparents who still dance barefoot in their kitchens. From people who've fallen apart and put themselves back together with gold in their cracks. And I promise you this. Each lesson will touch a different part of your soul. Lesson 1. You don't have to be young to start over. Let me tell you about Clara. Clara was 76 when her husband of 51 years passed away. For weeks, she moved through the house like a ghost, folding laundry he would never wear, cooking meals for one, listening to their old jazz records with tears streaming down her cheeks. Friends told her, "You'll be okay. Just give it time." But what Clara realized was this. Time doesn't heal anything unless you choose to live again. One quiet Sunday morning, she did something radical. She signed up for a pottery class at the community center, not because she loved clay, but because she needed to touch something real again, to shape something, anything. And that's where it began. She met other women who had lost. She laughed again, at first awkwardly, then deeply. She made a crooked little bowl and cried when the instructor said, "That's beautiful." 2 years later, Clara now sells her pottery at local fairs. She teaches others. She wears bright scarves and always smells like lavender and hope. She can go back to who she was. She became someone new. And that's the first lesson. It's never too late to begin again. Not at 60, not at 80, not even tomorrow morning. Whether it's a hobby, a friendship, a love story, or a whole new dream, you're allowed to start over. Don't listen to the world when it whispers, "You're too old." Instead, whisper back, "Watch me." Lesson 2. Movement is the secret to staying young. Let me introduce you to Mr. Eugene. Eugene is 89, but if you saw him from across the park, you'd swear he was 60, maybe younger. Every morning at 6 a.m., rain or shine, he's out walking, not shuffling, not limping, walking with purpose. He wears a flat cap, carries a little thermos of green tea, and smiles at every person who passes. Kids wave at him. Dogs follow him. He's like the mayor of morning. One day, a curious teenager asked him, "Sir, what's your secret? Vitamins? Smoothies? Some anti-aging trick?" Eugene chuckled and replied, "I just never stopped moving." You see, when his friends retired and slowed down, Eugene sped up not recklessly, but consistently. He didn't join fancy gyms or buy gadgets. He just walked every day, and he stretched, and he danced a little in the kitchen while making breakfast. He insists that Elvis Presley is the best for this. When his wife fell ill years ago, movement saved him from sinking into grief. When his knees ached, he moved slower, but he moved. When doctors told him to take it easy, he nodded and went walking anyway. He says, "Our bodies are like bicycles. If you stop pedaling, you fall." And he's right. So here's the second lesson. Motion is medicine, not just for your muscles, for your mind, your mood, and your spirit, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. Stretch your arms, wiggle your toes, dance in your living room. Celebrate the body that's carried you this far, and keep it moving, because youth isn't an age. It's energy in motion. Lesson 3. The people around you shape the quality of your years. Let me tell you about Dolores. Dolores is 85. She lives in a small house with yellow shutters, on a street where she's known by name and by smell, because every Sunday, without fail, she bakes the most heavenly cinnamon rolls, the kind that could bring your childhood back with just one bite. But Dolores wasn't always this joyful. You see, 5 years ago, she lost her husband of 56 years. His laughter used to fill the kitchen. When he passed, the silence was deafening. For months, Dolores barely spoke to anyone. She watched TV with the volume high, not because she couldn't hear, but because the silence was too loud. Then one day, a knock on her door. It was a boy named Mateo from down the street, holding a drawing of a dog. "I heard you used to have one," he said. "This one's for you." Something in her heart cracked open, so she invited him in. Baked cookies. Then his sister came by, then their mom. And before long, Sunday afternoons turned into neighborhood gatherings. Now, her home is never quiet. It's alive, full of stories, hugs, laughter, and yes, cinnamon rolls. Dolores says, the key to growing old is not growing alone. And that's your third lesson. People keep us alive, truly alive, not just through company, but through connection, the kind that makes you feel seen, needed, and loved. So, if you've drifted from friends, call them. If your neighbor waves, wave back, and maybe bring cookies next time. If your kids live far, write them letters. Not emails, real handwritten letters. They'll treasure them more than you think. And if you've ever felt invisible, remember this. You are someone's Dolores. Your presence is someone's comfort. Your story is someone's lesson. And your smile might be someone's reason to keep going. Lesson 4. Slowing down is not giving up. It's waking up. Let me tell you about George. George turned 90 last fall. But don't let the number fool you. He's sharper than a tack and cheekier than a teenager. He walks with a cane, not because he needs it, but because he likes to tap it like a drumstick when he tells jokes. Every morning, George sits on his porch with a cup of black coffee. Just sits, watching the sunrise, listening to the birds. No phone, no to-do list. He says it's the best part of his day. I asked him once, "Don't you get bored?" He laughed. "Son," he said, "when you reach my age, you don't chase time. You savor it, like a good sip of wine you once rushed through." George used to be a lawyer in a big city. His days were packed. His calendar looked like a game of Tetris. He ate lunch while reading memos. He missed birthdays for meetings. And he swore he'd rest after retirement. But when retirement finally came, he didn't know what to do with stillness. At first, it terrified him. Then one morning, sitting by a lake, he noticed something. The way the water rippled with the breeze. The way the sun made the leaves shimmer. The sound of ducks laughing at nothing in particular. He realized something huge. He'd been alive for decades, but he hadn't really lived. So now George takes it slow. He writes letters by hand. He grows tomatoes. He whistles with the birds. And he says he feels younger than he did at 50 because he finally stopped running and started noticing. And that's your fourth lesson. Slowing down is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. It's not about doing less. It's about doing what matters with more presence. It's choosing quality over quantity, moments over minutes, meaning over motion. So next time you feel too slow or left behind, stop, look around, feel the sunlight on your face, listen to your breath. That's life. That's the real wealth. And maybe, just maybe, You'll realize you're not behind at all. You're finally on time. Lesson 5. You're not a burden. You're a library. Let me tell you about Ethel. Ethel is 87. She lives with her daughter's family, 3 generations under one roof. Some days, she forgets the name of her neighbor. Some days, she repeats the same story twice before lunch. But when her grandson came home one afternoon, upset after being picked on at school, she didn't lecture. She just sat beside him, held his hand, and said, "When I was 8, a boy called me Four Eyes every day. So I took off my glasses and walked into a pole." And just like that, her grandson laughed through his tears. You see, Ethel might not remember what she had for breakfast, but she remembers what matters. She remembers how it feels to be left out. She remembers the pain of losing a parent too young. She remembers how her heart raced during her first dance, her first kiss, her first heartbreak. She remembers how to comfort, how to forgive, how to hope again. Her family used to worry they were taking care of her, but over time, they realized she was the one holding them. Here's the truth. You are not a burden. You are a bridge. You are living history, a walking storybook, filled with lessons that no Google search could ever teach. The way you peel an apple in one long curl. The songs you hum when you clean the kitchen. The quiet courage in your eyes when no one else knows what to do. You've lived through wars and weddings. You've lost people and still managed to love again. You've failed and fallen and gotten up more times than most even try. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. So when you feel like you're just in the way, remember, you are the roots, the soil, the weathered oak that still stands while the world spins fast around you. And someone, a grandchild, a neighbor, a stranger in the supermarket, will look at you one day and see not a burden, but a map of how to live. All they need is for you to keep being you. Sparkles and now, dear friend, take a deep breath, because if no one's told you today, you are valuable, you are seen, and this world is better because you're still in it. Great. Ready when you are to dive into the next video script. 5 small daily habits to stay joyful and live longer in old age. Do you want the same warm storytelling style with a mix of humor and emotional pull? Or are we switching up the tone a bit for this one?